Welcome to the Clear to Send podcast, a podcast about wireless engineering, where we educate you on Wi-Fi technology, talk about design tips, troubleshooting, interviews, and the tools. Here are your hosts, Roel and Francois.
Today's show is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. Just go to audibletrial.com/clear2send and browse the fantastic selection of audio programs. Download a title free and start listening. It's that easy. Again, go to audibletrial.com/clear2send.
Hello everyone, this is Roel Dionisio here, and I'm having brunch with Jussi, good friend of mine from Ekahau, or I guess, what are you guys going to be called now? Ekahau?
Ekahaus, something like that. Good to see you, my friend, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. It's a beautiful day, so we're outside.
Yeah, thanks for taking me to your everyday brunch place, the Four Seasons, Palo Alto.
Every day for lunch, this is where I'd come.
Yeah, just so you know, I had to go wake up Roel from his hotel room here at the Four Seasons. That's how he rolls, man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Penthouse suite, you know.
Yeah,
You gotta do it Silicon Valley style.
So life is good at Stanford, I take it, huh?
Kidding aside, I'm only about 20 minutes away, so
Yeah, it's not too.
this is only our second time here, actually.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And
yeah.
the first time was actually a really good lunch. So,
And it's the third or fourth time on your podcasts.
yeah, I mean you've been a repeat visitor here, and this time you've got huge news for us. You just what, an hour ago,
Yeah.
you guys dropped a bombshell out there and said, "Hey, guess what? We're now part of Ookla."
Yes,
And
sir.
for those of you who don't know who Ookla is, I'm sure you guys have used speedtest.net, which is a very common way for people to baseline how good is my internet speeds, right?
Yeah.
So Jussi, what do you think about this?
Well, I mean, to me, it's fantastic. So, just a little bit of background. Ekahau, you know how it's gone for us, right? So we were kind of the underdog until like 5-6 years ago. We really started pushing gas and kind of gaining market share and all that kind of stuff. And as you start doing that, gaining market share and taking the number one position, and you know, revenue is growing, and we're, you know, continuously we're still like really profitable as a company as well. The bookkeepers and the CEO did a really good job at you know, keeping my travel expenses very, very, very low. Thank you for that.
Just enough to make it here.
Exactly. But I had to take a boat, like a Titanic. So that's where I am when you don't hear from me on
So a luxury
Twitter.
cruise, you came over here on a luxury
It wasn't luxury, man. I had to row the actual damn thing. But anyways, where was I coming from? So yeah, when you have you know, a company that's doing fairly okay, you start to have people asking questions on like, okay guys, how about this and how about that? The thing that struck with Ookla out of everybody was the culture similarity with Ekahau.
and that's important.
It's super important. I mean, that's what I see as the nucleus of the Ekahau R&D Center in Helsinki. Like, that's the reason we do customer-centric and good products and get to employ good people and good developers. It's the culture
The question
at the
is,
heart
though,
of it.
is are they going to be able to work with you, Jussi?
Yeah. That's
You got some high expectations.
I fear that's their fear as well. I mean, from the first meeting out. So the mood with those guys, with the Ookla guys, was very, very relaxed. We were cracking jokes, and I was
that's good.
I was
That's good
literally drawing like and these are like you know, typically they're like investors in suits and really serious stuff talking about finance, and this was like me drawing poop emojis on the whiteboard kind of a thing. So it was a totally different
and then they wrote
experience
"Do
with
not
them.
erase," right?
Yeah, exactly. This is super important strategic stuff.
And they're a US-based company, aren't they?
They are, yeah. They are US based, and
That means you have to listen to American rap now instead of the Finnish rap.
Dude, don't get me started. I'll play some for you. I'm warning you. I have a phone right here with a loudspeaker. But yeah. So culture is one thing, right? But the other thing that struck me was their technology. So
Okay.
I mean, like you said, speedtest.net.
Yeah.
What is 10 million speed tests per day and 20 billion completed across the lifetime. So that's a lot of testing, and that's throughput testing, right?
Yeah, and it's out to the internet too. So you're not
Exactly.
testing. You're testing beyond what's where you are on premises, right? So you're not just testing Wi-Fi. You're testing Wi-Fi and however good this speed test server is. Because I've set up a speed test server before.
Yeah.
And you could literally set up any speed test server, right? There's
Uh-huh.
recommendations, guidelines that they have set, but depending on who set it up, hopefully not everyone's hitting it at the same time, because that could also change your throughput test as well.
And they have
But-
thousands, right?
Oh yeah, they're in San Francisco, in the Bay Area. There's just a ton of them everywhere. And I used to run one down like in San Jose for another company, and that was getting hit all the time.
It's an interesting model, and if you think about it, thousands of testing servers, and they work really, really well to my experience. Like they work super well. The pipe that's tested, it actually gives the results you're really, really getting. So the whole model and the whole technology and the openness of it is, I just find it super curious. And we at Ekahau, we're not heavily, we do throughput testing with our tools and stuff like that, but we haven't been heavily focused in that.
Right. It's not a strong focus for the Ekahau product. More of the focus is on the design, and the validation of it.
Exactly.
But throughput can be
Can be
part of
done.
that validation survey. And it'll be
Exactly.
interesting to see how Ookla wants to integrate with ESS and how that gets implemented with the Sidekick as well, or any other future products that may come out, because it is an interesting acquisition in my mind, because I see them more as I guess a tool, right? And ESS is a tool itself.
I am a tool.
You are a tool. We're all tools. But the acquisition of Ekahau is kind of different, because I only see. And it's still early on. Like I haven't really formulated.
It's
all
already
these
been like
thoughts.
64 minutes.
Yeah,
so
it's all
what are you
64
talking
minutes,
about?
and we're gonna analyze this all right now.
Deep dive.
Deep dive. Tell me what
I'll
they
drink to
really
that.
wanted. And yes, we are celebrating, as you hear the clanking there.
In Rowell's living room, aka
My backyard.
I like it, man.
But-
Anyway,
I'm just curious as to how the product's going to play out in the future. I know right now, it's going to be same plans as usual,
Yeah.
and maybe you get more resources to help develop what you guys are creating.
Exactly.
Maybe more resources into developing more features. You can maybe tackle more.
yeah.
I'd like to see a lot of that, but then there comes a point where the company says, all right, let's try to mesh some of our ideas with yours, and that's where things start to get slippery with a lot of companies. But again, if the culture's the same, or the culture is very like-minded, then maybe there will be a big benefit there. All right, we just got our food, so if you're listening, you're probably going to hear us eating.
Sorry about
Hopefully
that.
you don't mind, but we're starving.
Yeah.
Anyways, where were we? We were talking about how
you
the
just had
product's gonna develop under Ookla, and how people get worried that the product declines because both companies end up having different visions and there's different priorities. What is the real driver for Ookla getting Ekahau is my question.
That's a good and fair question, Rowell. Sorry for eating at the same time. So, and I think if there's worry, there's a justification for that, because there's been in the wireless industry, we see acquisitions all the time, and
How we feeling out here?
oh, we're doing good, man.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
That looks great. Enjoy.
Thank you.
So there's been like different kinds of acquisitions. Like we've seen some go like not ideally from the customer perspective, but then we see like really good ones as well, where the acquired company kind of stays independent, just gets more resources, gets more stuff done, and thrives. I don't want to name names, but for example, Meraki seems to be doing quite well. They're still their own entity. They haven't been like tightly integrated inside Cisco. They are a part of Cisco, but they're not. They're in San Francisco. Cisco is in San Jose.
That honeymoon stage, and they're still kind of the Meraki mentality.
Exactly, fast moving and doing their thing. And Cisco is different focus, different target customer, stuff like that. And that's kind of what I see happening here as well. Is that Ookla it's a different ball game. If I had to oversimplify it, Ookla has a speedometer gauge, whatever you would call it, speedometer. Is that what you call it? So Ookla has speedometer. We have a map, and there's quite a distance.
You have to translate that.
But I mean, there's.
I can just see it now. Popped into my head. Right, you're doing your validation survey, and when you're done, you get a speedometer.
Exactly. Instead of a map.
Okay, please don't implement that.
That's all you get. Your speedometer is color green. So what I'm trying to say, I guess, is the businesses are so different, and the Ekahau business will maintain kind of independent here. So I don't see a lot of threat like our products being speedometerized, so to speak. I mean, there's technology that could and probably will be utilized on both sides, and ideas and smart people on both sides that will be talking. But
I think that makes sense because there's got to be some meat to this acquisition somehow, right? So as Ookla, I guess their main product is the speed test. I assume they want to get more into just doing a speed test for the internet. They probably want to do speed tests on your local network, your local Wi-Fi. So I could see things such as, testing your, giving a score to, say, stadiums when you're at or large public venues. You can start rating or doing speed tests on those networks, and then you got these comparison tests against different networks. That starts to create some more buzz and creates more competition between different companies and different stadiums, things like that.
That would be healthy, like we have for airports.
There's an airport one.
Shout out to Jim Palmer, the owner of America's best airport Wi-Fi, or second best. Which one is it? The
bane of his existence. I saw his tweet too. He said, because he calls it his enemy.
Speed test?
Yeah. Because everyone's going to the airport doing a speed test, and they're wanting to figure out how fast is my wireless network, and so I can see Ekahau being used in that situation, right?
Yeah, for sure. But it's like we have this. Ours is totally enterprise driven and done for IT folks and all that. Ookla is so, or like
consumer based.
It's more consumer based, but what's interesting is all of us are using their tools as well. So it's so widespread.
So I can see some sort of integration with Ekahau and speed test, where you do your throughput test locally on the local LAN, and then a different throughput test to the internet to validate even your internet connection, things like that, right?
Yeah. I'm not gonna confirm or deny any of that.
Neither do I know what's going on. I'm just throwing out
I know
ideas.
everything. I crafted the entire Ookla Ekahaus strategy last night. We were on a video chat with Lee Badman, and we drank some red vino, and no, that didn't really happen. Anyway.
Well, what do you see as the big benefit here? For me, what I see, right, is you get more resources to your teams. We're hoping you could implement more of the features that we want faster. Maybe put more manpower to certain features of the product.
Maybe get sidekicks out of the factory faster. Reduce the sidekick backlog.
Yeah. To help get Sam all his sidekicks on time.
Exactly.
Stop taking up all the sidekicks, Sam.
Yes. Dude, you need to stop. It's an addiction.
You only need one.
So yeah, that's one part. I think it's threefolded if I had to quickly evaluate. One is resources. Second one is knowledge sharing. So for me, what drives me, when I go to work, I really look forward to exchanging ideas and finding new ones with like really smart people. And now we have a bunch of really smart people join our team. It's like having dozens of really smart network focused software development focused people join you with expertise about the cloud, expertise about heavy end-to-end testing, servers, that kind of stuff that hasn't been really Ekahaus forte so far.
I'm curious like how Ekahau will utilize the cloud, if at all, right? And how that integrates with Ookla and whatever method.
We can talk about the cloud stuff once the recorder is off. How's that? But
I will turn it off right now.
So yeah, resources, knowledge, and then independence. So those are the big three things that I see coming out of this. Like you get the benefits of resources and knowledge, but you still get your independence.
Yeah, I assume they recognize that you guys are the wireless experts, so you're probably educating them on how you guys do Wi-Fi, how the rest of the industry views Wi-Fi. Hopefully they also take a lot of customer feedback seriously, because as we all know, Ekahau has the ESS request. You guys are always active in the community. Hopefully Ookla maintains that for you guys.
Yeah, and I mean, we will maintain that, of course, as well with the Ekahau customers. Just try to expand that as well. So, like, there's, for a good reason, people are concerned when acquisitions happen, and like whenever this kind of stuff happens, the initial reaction almost always is negative. Like, oh my God, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Although it's not always like that. So.
No, it's not always. And I try to look at things on the bright side, right? There's been a lot of acquisitions as of late in the wireless industry. And I like to look at it with a positive spin. And for me, the biggest thing is you guys get more resources to work on the product. So now we actually educate even more people with how Wi-Fi works, how they should design Wi-Fi, how they should validate it. And I think it just gets the word out there even more, because everything is Wi-Fi centric. I mean, I don't see many people plugging in anymore, do you?
No, man, no. And I guess that's part of the reason why we were an interesting target to Ookla.
I mean, what else am I missing here? I mean, it's still too early. I haven't thought about everything. I haven't even asked anyone else outside of our group what they thought, other than they just hope it doesn't go downhill from here. That's everyone's always thought. Everyone thinks that.
That's the first reaction, and human brain is built that way. So what else is there? I mean, I've been following it, so it's been a pretty busy morning for me too. I've been following the social media and all that stuff, and it's been really positive. And if there's another angle to this, I have yet to discover it, but I'm sure, like, as things get more mature and let's sleep, or is it sleep on it or sleep over it? Let's sleep on it, 1 or 2 nights, and I'm sure,
Let's sleep on it for about 3 years.
Yeah, then we'll really see.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been telling people, is like, I'm super excited about this deal. I really like the culture of Ookla. I really genuinely I like the people in there, and I've spent days and days with those guys, and I really like them. But remains to be seen how this whole acquisition plays out. But to me, like, I couldn't be happier about this. Being a venture-funded company, things could have ended on the wrong note for us, of course. But to me, it turns out right now it was anything but.
So I guess the most important question is, what kind of car did you drive here?
Dude, I drove a standard rental car. Thank you very much. No, actually, not standard in the sense that it was a cabriolet. So after this, we're gonna drive down with I was gonna say Rowell, because you were supposed to join us, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't do it. You're talking about the roadshow. Down to because you're talking about going down to CWP, because Wi-Fi Trek is right around the corner.
It's next week.
It's going to be you and Robert Boardman, who I co-host Wi-Fi of Everything with. You guys are going to be touching different parts of California, going to visit different Wi-Fi professionals. I'm looking forward to what you guys have and kind of videos come out from that. You guys going to be doing any live streaming, or can you even announce like where you guys are going?
at least initially, at least Brian Long has, promised to see us and tell us about his work, and also Ben Miller, my good friend Ben. Those guys will see in California, and I'm hoping to see some people here in the Valley as well. I do have a lot of meetings, but I don't know how much.
Yeah, because you are starting here in the Bay Area first, right? Mm-hmm.
And on Saturday, I'm sorry you can't make it because of a personal arrangement, but on Saturday we're just having dinner with some of the Wi-Fi geeks in the area. So that's kind of where we'll kick things off, and then start driving down Highway 1 or 101 towards San Diego.
Yeah, and so that'll be interesting to see. You and Robert Boardman will be sharing everything out on social media, so I'll follow the both of you and see what other Wi-Fi professionals have to share about what they do in their day-to-day. I think that's always interesting to see how others are doing it. What are they seeing in their own industry, with their own clients or their own workplace, and learn from others, because that's what it's all about. Is Wi-Fi is just one of those topics where it's not one of those professions where there's strict guidelines, like an electrician, right? Mm-hmm. There's different ways to go about it. There's wrong ways to do it, just like with any profession, but
there's a lot of right ways to do it as well.
There's a lot of right ways to do it, and hopefully you're visiting all the people who do it the right ways. You're not going to shame the ones who are doing it the wrong way, right?
No, it's going to be all about shaming, like the early seasons of American Idol. That's bloody awful. You just cannot sing at all. That's my Simon Cowell impression. That was bad. That was horrible. It sounded like a Schwarzenegger married an English
I just
woman.
see it now. You have a panel of 3 people.
Exactly.
You show off your design.
Are you voting in or out?
Well, that'll be really interesting, and then we'll see you guys at WiFi Trek. Are you presenting at WiFi Trek?
I am, yeah. The topic is in the year 2000. I don't know what it's going to be about, but we'll see there.
Yet to develop the slides.
Yeah.
I'm also presenting as well.
What are you presenting, man?
I'm doing Road to CWNE. So mine's going to be the short presentation, just going to kind of nail down how I approached it, what tips I can give to others who are also looking to get their CWNE.
So, if you had to summarize top 2, how do you get to CWNE?
Do a lot of labbing, do a lot of frame captures. So, start with your own wireless network at home. That's the easiest way to start, because it's 802.11. So,
but what do you use for packet capture anyway?
Well, I'm starting to use something that's going to come out soon, but I use a lot of AirTool, Wireshark. So those are the main 2 that I use.
I just wish that the wireless folks wouldn't need to carry a USB adapter anymore to capture frames, and that they could use some third-party device that they already use for site surveys, for example.
That would be a useful
Not to spill the beans, but I wish there was something like that was probably announced at the CWNP conference initially.
And maybe I should have something ready by that CWNP conference.
Maybe you should.
Just to put something out there.
Exactly.
Just to whet your guys' appetite.
Hey, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Now that you've done, university Wi-Fi for the longest time, and other kind of Wi-Fi on the maybe as well. I'm sure you're familiar with other than classrooms. But if you had to give the listeners 2 tips for really good Wi-Fi today that apply to most environments, what would you say? It's a super easy question, right?
It's super easy. It really is. I always say go back to the basics. A lot of times you don't need fancy design.
But you need fancy tools. Ekahau by Ekahau.
You need a way to validate it somehow, right?
Exactly.
Even if now I use Ekahau for validation. There are times where I will cheat.
I just gave Roel $20, by the way.
Well, hopefully you're going to pay for it. There are ways that I help validate. Oh, there's the money. It's not 20, it's a 50.
That's how I roll, man.
My biggest tip is know the basics. A lot of times, in a lot of environments I roll into, there's a lot of channel overlap. If you can just minimize the channel overlap, you can probably get rid of a lot of issues people are having, right? A lot of congestion. And so even if you have Ekahau, do the validation survey, know which radios you need to turn off, or know which channels to put those radios on, so you're not having excessive channel overlap. Or use I use a tool like Adrian's tool, Wi-Fi Explorer, just to do a spot check. I do a spot check and see how many APs are broadcasting on the same channel. Just doing that, you can minimize a lot of congestion issues, in my opinion. And there was one environment where I came in and disabled over half of the 2.4 radios, and unfortunately, a lot of their devices were actually had to use 2.4. But they were seeing issues, and so by disabling that, I took their channel utilization, which was between 70 and 80%, down to about 20%.
You know what I did once? So I disabled radios as well. I disabled all, and it took their channel utilization to 0%.
And you did a report and said I fixed it.
Exactly. I just showed like an interference heat map, and it was 0. I ruled,
Magically,
man.
it works.
Yeah. So know the basics. What else?
Know the basics and do a design, because if you guess, you're gonna guess wrong. I've seen installers guess where the AP should go, and surprise, installers will design it what's easy for them, right? Running cabling along the same path is going to be very easy for them because they don't have to run it through other walls. All the cabling is down the hallways. Do a design. Maybe the hallway thing works, but make sure you tune your Wi-Fi correctly. So use Ekahau to do that predictive design that so you're not doing 100% guesswork.
Use the what now?
Oh, now it's 100.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby. Or is that 500? I don't know.
As he puts his money back into his pocket, I am an Ekahau user, so I use whatever design tool you use. Just do us all a favor and design it the right way.
And I am an Ookla user. I love Ookla. Best regards, Jussi. Our new overlords, I love
When
you.
you're done, validate with speedtest.net.
Exactly.
Don't use the defaults. A lot of times I see a lot of 80 megahertz defaults when you don't need it, right? Or
they still default to 80?
There's a lot of people who think that 80 is the way to go because of the marketing numbers, right? 80 megahertz, higher throughput, gigabit speeds.
Higher data rate,
Yeah, but then when you have your, more than two or three APs in an office space, so all of a sudden you're not seeing that.
I hear you, man.
So yeah, my tips are always go back to the basics. You don't have to be even at an expert level. Just know that you need to minimize channel overlap and have a proper design. So by having a proper design, you'll minimize your channel overlap.
Fair. Now name one interesting or surprising fact about Wi-Fi, like good Wi-Fi or bad Wi-Fi.
Sure, I'm gonna put a vendor under the bus.
What's that?
I'm gonna throw a vendor under the bus here.
Please do.
I don't like client load balancing, specifically on Meraki, because I've seen it just kick people off an AP just to move them onto another AP. And because of that, you see clients actually disconnect, and if those clients have poor drivers, they have a hard time joining whatever AP that the infrastructure wanted you to join, right? The client's going to join whatever AP it wants to join. So I've been in different environments where I just turned that off, and they actually saw a big improvement because when you're doing your voice calls over wireless and all of a sudden the infrastructure says get off my AP and go to another one, that kind of ruins the experience for the voice call.
Yeah, this is true. I can't believe there still isn't a standard way to solve that across all the vendors. But there's not.
If there was a company, if there was some sort of alliance that worked on this, that would
on Wi-Fi. If there was an alliance that worked on Wi-Fi.
And worked on something that would work across the board, across different vendors.
Oh, right? Wow, that's a phenomenal idea. I don't think it's ever gonna happen, though.
Who knows?
With that,
I think that's how we're gonna end the show.
By mocking all the big entities in the business.
Let me get my opinions out there. But yeah, that's what I have to share.
All right.
We heard from you as it gets noisier in this environment because we're getting closer to lunch.
Yeah, that's your helicopter right there.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
It's the emergency Wi-Fi helicopter.
Exactly. First, we just gotta, outrun the security guards because we're not gonna pay this bill, right? I know I'm not.
There's the door. It's an easy getaway.
I'd make a run for it.
It's a good thing you're not staying in this hotel, right?
Dude, I can tell you honestly, I'm not. I wish I was.
I just think it's funny when the lady says, "So, what's your room number?" Yeah, I'm staying at the Marriott down the street.
Exactly.
I think this is a Marriott hotel, isn't it?
Next to the dumpster and the highway. Between the dumpster
I
and the
believe
highway.
Four Seasons is part of the Marriott.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not. Ritz-Carlton
that's right.
is a part of the Marriott chain.
I got my points all mixed up.
Yeah.
Not that I
exactly.
stay at the
not
Four
that you stay at any lower end brand than Four Seasons. So.
Okay, this is just going downhill from there. So I think we're gonna end this. You have final words to say to everybody?
No, I mean, just about the acquisition, for example, just feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, concerns, anything. And
yeah, and you are answering people on Twitter, so
I used to be, but now we're a big corporate, so I stopped. Anyhow,
we've got all corporate.
Exactly. Our corporate policy denies me from using.
Did you get a better title than janitor, though?
Dude, it's just getting worse and worse. But I think they're smart that way.
All right. Well, we want to thank you guys for listening. Jussi, thanks for coming out.
Thanks, Roel, for having me
pleasure.
on for the 18th time on your podcast. That has 20 episodes.
The timing was very good. So we're celebrating your achievement here.
And thank you for doing such a service to the Wi-Fi community, having an awesome podcast. I enjoy it, and I hear a lot of others do too. How many listeners are you now touting these days?
We actually hit over 11,000 downloads last month.
Dude,
that was our highest.
Fist bump.
There you go. Just imagine that, guys. Fist bump.
Nice.
Well,
Cheers to Roel.
Cheers, and here's to Ekahau.
Cheers, man.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.